What's up, guys? Pete Nelson here of SISU, and we are behind the scenes at our SISU manufacturing facility here in Burton, Ohio, and we're going to take you through what it takes to build a SISU from the ground up before it gets created. Throughout the facility, we have a lot of different staging areas. So what you're seeing behind me right now is a number of stagings for different panels that we use within our saunas. So you can see here, all of our wood is Western red cedar from Idaho, and all of this gets CNC'd, it gets routed out for different panels. So this room is where a lot of our handcrafting gets done by our team. You can see the jigs that happen for the back wall panel. So this gets placed on the wall panel, then it gets routed, sanded to make sure it fits perfectly for every single panel before it gets created. And then once it gets sanded and routed, it comes right here and gets ready for cleaning and then the inset of that window panel. This room is where we have all of our large mechanicals. The main machine that we're using here is our CNC router, and that CNC router helps us be able to get the perfect angles on all of our trim pieces and a lot of the parts that require that very small replicatable minutia detail. So this is our main back warehouse where all of the sauna staging happens. So in the previous rooms, that's where all the handcrafting starts, and then from there, that's usually the hardest part, and then we get it here into storage and staging for us to then load up the crates. So you can see behind me here, we have a bunch of storage for not only our staves that you'll see across all of our sauna types, whether it's barrel or cabin, but you'll also see some of our staging for our heater components. So for all of our boom heaters, these are easily picked by our team and then put into the crates. So you'll see the Hume drops, our Hume cliffs, a bunch of stone and rock, and then up top, we use that for additional storage. So right here, we have all of our staves ready to go for panels. And these staves, you'll see that they have a dado. These dados fit perfectly for each wall panel. And so the way that the staves sit, the wall panels for the front walls and the back walls for the barrels, the panels with the windows for the cabins, they perfectly sit in these dados. So you have that perfect fit every single time. So all this wood gets accustomed to the dry air inside the factory, so it contracts and gets to the correct fitment before it gets into the crate. So you already know that the cedar is going to be at that right moisture level for your sauna. Our team hand selects every single board, and then through that process, there's a quality control metric where if a board has some sort of abrasions to it or cracking, you'll see in this one, like this crack wouldn't be up to standard. We'll actually set it aside and then try to reuse that wood, which ends up actually kind of being more costly because all these pieces of wood go through the manufacturing process. But then for us to be able to take that wood and reuse it elsewhere, it's an important process of being stewards of the wood. And this is one of my favorite shots. So as you look down here, this is where all of our staging occurs. So it literally goes from right to left, and then down at the end is where all of our crates get finalized and then put onto the trailer, the trucking trailer. So you'll see here, going from right to left, we have all of our benches for the cabin saunas, the radius staves for the cabin saunas, and then you also have the flooring boards as well as the rear wall panels for the Charlie cab. Here's a little side profile shot of the cradles for the Edwin barrels and the Eddie barrels. So each of these are seamless across, routed, sanded, the whole bit, alignment blocks, so you know exactly where to put your starting stave when you go to start off building out your barrel sauna. Over here is where staging will occur. So actually behind these crates and that door is a semi-truck or a semi-trailer where we open that up and then we store 20 to 25, 30 saunas at a time. And then every week when those, when our Estes driver comes to pick up our saunas, they just pull right from that trailer. So it helps keep the floor free from having a ton of crates, dozens of crates out. We were able to just get them in there for operational efficiency for the end user. So the little things matter. In a wood shop, there's so much dust everywhere. You'll see below me, I would say a couple times a day, our team will have to go through, brush up all the dust that comes from the cedar, and then once it's all brushed up, then we'll take one of our machines that will then clean the floor, wet it down to make sure that none of the dust and soot from the bottoms of our workers' shoes get inside the crates. Taking a look inside those crates, this right here is an Edwin barrel crate. So every single piece is perfectly aligned for not only our customer to pick it out of there, but to also make sure that it stays safe during transport. It's really important that the quality maintains if it's going from Cleveland, Ohio out to LA, California, where you have, you know, thousands of miles in between there, that the panels, the parts, the pieces all stay at perfect quality along the transit. So inside of here, you'll see, going from left to right, this box isn't complete yet, but you'll see that there's 3 cradles, stainless steel bands. Each of our stainless steel bands have a stainless steel sticker to it that helps keep and prevent scratching from that stainless steel from occurring. And as you're coming down here, you'll see that there's different packs of staves and different wood sizes. This right here are roof boards that go on top of the exterior of the sauna. These are cedar bevel siding cedar boards, Western red cedar. A lot of it is a mix of clear and knotty Western red cedar. This is great protection for the sauna in those outdoor settings. You'll see a mixture of our finishing staves, the double concave stave for the very top of the sauna, and then all of our cedar is thick. It's, you know, it's a true 2x6 cedar that has that concave convex, so that mating and non-mating stave side that helps for perfect joinery in each of the saunas. And here you'll see that the boards are protected with this the corrugated cardboard. So along the way, none of the pieces and parts are gonna shift and scratch one another. So we're gearing up for our Homecraft launch in April for SISU. So we're starting to get more and more of our heaters in from Homecraft. So we're using the Homecraft Revive 9, and then we're also using the Homecraft Revive 5 and 6 Slim, which go into our barrel saunas as well as the Charlie. These are out of Vancouver, Canada, North American made, beautiful heaters. But this is where all of our staging occurs, and then all of our Homecraft stone lives as well. This is all specific for the barrels, and then we have our Homecraft storage down there for our cabin saunas as well. So that was the walkthrough, a little behind the scenes of our SISU manufacturing site here in Burton, Ohio, just on the east side of Cleveland. Stay tuned for more videos on behind the scenes of us building the saunas, but also per SKU specific of the Charlie, the Crew, the Edwin, and the Eddie. So you have all the information that you need when you're looking to buy a SISU sauna.